SR-71 Blackbird, 10 Unusual Facts. SR-71 is the fastest air-breathing manned aircraft that operated at high speeds and altitudes, Mach 3.2 and 85,000 feet or 25,900 meters, to allow it to outrace threats. If a surface-to-air missile launch was detected, the standard evasive action was simply to accelerate and outfly the missile at over Mach 3.3. Over 800 surface-to-air missiles were launched but not a single one hit a SR-71. On the SR-71, titanium was used for 93% of the structure because the temperature of the exterior reached over 600 degrees Fahrenheit, or 316 degrees Celsius, during cruise speed. The major supplier of the ore was the USSR. Working through third world countries and bogus operations, they were able to get the supplies shipped to the United States without USSR's knowledge. While flying above 80,000 feet, 6 different cameras or sensors on the Blackbird were able to photograph over 100,000 square miles in an hour. To put that in perspective, Colorado is about 104,000 square miles. If a 4-hour mission was given the purpose of photographing the southeast of the United States, the optical bar camera would survey Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia, all in that 4-hour time frame. After each flight, the camera's film was unloaded, processed and analyzed immediately. The reconnaissance information gathered provided strategic awareness and advantage for the United States. Flying at 80,000 feet, 24,000 meters, meant that crews could not use standard masks, which could not provide enough oxygen above 43,000 feet. Specialized protective pressurized suits were produced for crew members. Blackbird pilots were provided with food and drink for the long reconnaissance flights. Water bottles had long straws which crew members guided into an opening in the helmet by looking in a mirror. Food was contained in sealed containers similar to toothpaste tubes which delivered food to the crew member's mouth through the helmet opening. The SR-71 was powered by 2 Pratt & Whitney J58 turbojet engines. The engine was most efficient around Mach 3.2, the Blackbird's typical cruising speed. At lower speeds, the turbojet provided most of the compression. At higher speeds, the engine largely ceased to provide thrust, the afterburner taking its place. On a typical SR-71 mission, the airplane took off with only a partial fuel load to reduce stress on the brakes and tires during takeoff and also ensure it could successfully take off should one engine fail. As a result, the SR-71s were typically refueled immediately after takeoff. Some missions lasted as long as 10 hours or more, which required about 5 aerial refuels. At the speeds the SR-71 flew, the tires heated up just like the airframe even though they were housed inside of a cell. If normal air was used to inflate the tires, the oxygen would seep out even while the landing gear was retracted. To combat that issue, pure nitrogen became the standard to inflate tires. Also, these tires were 2 layers and way more resistant. Matter expands when hot, an aircraft is no different. Expansion joints line the aircraft at strategic locations to allow the airframe to expand without causing damage to the plane. The SR-71 expands 3 to 4 inches in length during flight and the expansion gap can expand 1 to 2 inches as well. There are more expansion joints riddled throughout the airframe. As the SR-71 went into supercruise, these expansion joints were absolutely necessary. 86 pilots flew reconnaissance missions in the SR-71 Blackbird. To be selected to fly the SR-71, pilots had to be considered among the Air Force's best, and due to the altitudes they had to undergo the same rigorous physical training and examinations as NASA's astronaut corps. There were only 3 pilots with more than 1,000 flight hours. For Navigation and Astro-Inertial Guidance System, ANS, was created, which could correct inertial navigation system errors with celestial observations. Celestial navigation uses sights, or angular measurements taken between a celestial body, for example the Sun, the Moon, a planet, or a star, and the visible horizon. The SR-71 Blackbird set a speed record. It flew from Los Angeles to Washington, D.C., in 1 hour 4 minutes and 20 seconds. It averaged 2,124 miles per hour on this flight. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.